Dude, I think I found it.
We happy? Adam, we happy?
Yeah, we happy.
On this episode of MythBusters.
Dude, it's real. This is it.
What exactly is it?
This is the end of the line. This is our last ever episode of MythBusters.
So what do you want to do, sit around and mope?
No, I do not. We have actually a fantastic episode planned, and mayhem is front and center on this. We've got a rocket sled.
Buster, you're the stuntman of all of our dreams.
Wow! Huge explosion. Wow. A truck wedge on steroids. And a whole bunch more.
Well, sounds good. What's first?
Well, one of the things MythBusters is most famous for is our extensive use of our high-speed camera.
Agreed.
But we have never filmed an explosion at tens of thousands of frames per second.
Well, you know what? If we're going to do that, we should make the last one a monster.
I totally agree. You heard him. Don't touch that dial because the last ever episode of MythBusters starts right now.
They say that all good things must come to an end. And MythBusters is no exception. Having lived through 14 years of world firsts, spectacular science,
Oh, man, that's so cool.
and television triumphs, Adam and Jamie's wild ride is wrapping up.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
But to sign off in style, they're starting this grandest of grand finales by going supersized and super slow.
We begin this last ever episode of MythBusters with our extensive experience in high-speed cameras and high-speed explosions to blow something up and get the most gorgeous high-speed shot of it.
And so to do that, we've come out to this beautiful desert testing ground. It's the perfect location for us to film some really, really massive explosions.
Our target? Why, this beautiful RV. RV stands for recreational vehicle, and blowing stuff up is a form of recreation for us. Now, we've chosen this because MythBusters has a long and illustrious history messing with these things. We've driven through them. We've fired rocket-propelled grenades at them. Heck, we've even used them for show openers.
Put your pants back on. We've got work to do.
Today, we're going to continue that long and illustrious history by turning this into dust beautifully.
It's not just history that makes the RV the perfect pick.
That's what I'm talking about.
But being made of materials both hard and soft, it should make for a kaleidoscopic kaboom.
A little color for our RV.
Especially at a frame rate that's mind-blowingly fast.
Here we go. Pop quiz. What is this referring to?
The answer is that that's the frame rate that this camera is going to be documenting our explosion in. And by the way, this will be the fastest frame rate that we've ever documented an explosion with.
Yep, as Jamie stated, this is the highest frame rate we have ever recorded an explosion with. And as a point of comparison, I want to point out that for our most iconic explosion we ever did on this show, which is, of course, the cement truck, we have no high-speed shot of it because our camera malfunctioned. We're hoping to remedy that with this little treat.
Yep. Despite conducting over 900 explosions, when it comes to dissecting a detonation, their explosive frame rate has maxed out at 10,000 frames per second, 5 times slower than this final farewell.
That was a little more energetic than I thought.
And with an enormous amount of info, the guys are going large.
That is a lot of boom.
But not before some science.
This right here is 855 pounds of ANFO. Now, when this stuff goes off, it's going to release 5,355 megajoules. Sounds like a lot of energy, right? Well, it is, but consider this. The energy contained per pound in a candy bar is greater than that inside a stick of dynamite. Now, that means that this isn't just about the total energy content, it's about the speed of the release. When that candy bar is consumed, it's going to take pretty much a day to release all its energy. But when we set off this AMPHO, it's going to be released in a tiny fraction of a second. And that's a whole different kettle of fish.
With a detonation velocity of 14,000 feet per second,
Another day, another 850 pounds of explosives.
the AMPHO will sure pack a punch.
Last one. There you go. That's it. We are almost ready to go. Our RV is now packed with 850 pounds of AMPHO, the same amount as we used to detonate our cement truck. Now, for the cement truck blast, Jamie and I were about 1.5 miles away over open water, and we were actually in open air. In contrast, for this blast, we'll be much closer, 1/2 mile away, but we'll be in the safety of a bunker.
But will it be spectacular enough for Adam and Jamie to hang up their high-speed camera once and for all? To find out, the guys hunker in the bunker
This is where I want to survive a zombie apocalypse.
and get ready to rock.
Here we go. We're about to detonate our RV with 850 pounds of AMPHO. On your mark, Mr. Heineman.
Okay, detonate in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow.
Look at that! Kaboom!
There's nothing left. No hole, no nothing. It's like it wasn't there.
If Jamie wanted big boom, Jamie got big boom because their RV has gone AWOL.
Wow! I can see chunks everywhere. Well, that was 850 pounds of AMPHO versus one RV, and clearly the RV was worse for wear. This is actually the most surviving tire of the actual car, and this was the spare. There are more efficient ways to pull a tire off of a rim, but none that are more exciting.
But this experiment was all about creating a high speed that's the bomb. So was it job done?
All right, this is the best part, watching it on high speed.
To find out, Adam starts by cueing the close-up.
Oh, look at that. You get to look at the inside of our RV lighting up. That's 850 pounds of AMPHO, expanding at, give or take, 15 times the speed of a bullet. Oh, look at that. It's so beautiful.
If the close-up had you impressed, just wait for the wide.
Oh, and there comes the shockwave. That might be the most beautiful shockwave we have ever recorded. Look at it. It's like a lens. It's like a Photoshop effect. Just incredible. Never, ever have we gotten this deep view on an explosion.
It's taken 14 years to get this footage. Possible now only because of incredible camera technology. And the second-to-none skill set of Adam and Jamie.
Wow, that's intense. It's just this incredibly bright light right there. I love that.
For this final farewell, it's well and truly first mission accomplished.
Well, that was a pretty spectacular way to start out the finale episode. What do you think?
Darn tootin'. Love those big blast bubbles.
Me too. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not all. If you like that, stick around. It gets much, much better.
After 14 unforgettable years
It's scientific!
and 3,000 eclectic experiments,
This is gonna kill you.
this is Adam and Jamie's final farewell.
Wow.
And the chaos is about to get cranked up to the max.
So what's next?
Well, I've been trying to think of something that is awesome and spectacular, yet also poignant and pays homage to the totality of our history.
That's deep.
Well, I think I've come up with something. Do you remember truck wedge?
Yeah, it was great.
So what I'm thinking of is we build a new improved truck wedge, attach it to a more powerful and bigger truck, and then on a runway we line up all 14 years of MythBusters history, all the props, the wooden cutouts, the busters, the cars, the planes, the boats, and we drive right through the center of all of it.
So it's a symbolic kind of a thing.
Indeed it is.
When it comes to wanton destruction
That was awesome!
and scientific slaughter, the MythBusters have set the bar high. But in this grand finale, they're raising that bar to infinity and beyond.
Whoa! Ow! Ah! Whew. No final episode of MythBusters would be complete unless we came to our favorite and most iconic location. I am standing on the runway at the Alameda Naval Station. It is 1.5 miles of pure experimental goodness. And it is on this runway that we are going to do the MythBusters version of a trip down memory lane.
Yep, it's here that Adam's setting up the most expansive experiment the guys have ever done.
Whoops.
A truck wedge finale that will test momentum versus MythBusters history in a mile-long lineup of 60 cars
That is exactly as much fun as it seems.
and almost 200 props from the past.
There we go. Not one, but 2 water heater rocket little red schoolhouses.
If the truck makes it all the way, it'll be the ultimate hit and run.
Tab A, slot B. You need planes built in a hurry? Come to Savage Plane Reconstruction.
But with the course still days away from being ready, it's over to Jamie, who's got to contrive and construct the mother of all steel wedges.
I've got to build this massive steel wedge that I'm going to attach to the truck. Now, to do that, I've designed a number of triangular steel plates that'll weld into this structure. That's not the difficult part. The difficult part is I need to get the thing socked in really close so that I can attach it securely to the chassis, and it'll fit.
Slowly but surely, the wedge starts to take shape.
We mean business.
And it's shape that is critical to this epic experiment. Thanks to its pointed nose and cone-like contours, the welded steel wedge should be able to slice through everything in its path. And then push it to the side, provided the truck's speed stays high and its driver stays on target. And with this last ever rig nearly ready, Jamie's getting jazzed.
This is the kind of stuff that I really like because this went from a thing in the computer to a thing that's really kind of impressively nasty, and it's pretty badass.
Indeed. But before it lets rip for real, there's another final fling to begin.
Pop quiz, which MythBuster has put their life on the line more than any other?
Me?
No.
You.
Wrong again.
Tori.
Oh, actually. I was thinking of Buster.
Well, he has put himself out there for us.
Indeed, and in this final episode, I think that we should say goodbye to Buster in a manner properly befitting his incredible contribution.
Like a superhero.
Exactly.
Faster than a speeding bullet, Stand by for Buster's Last Stand.
What is it that defines a superhero? I tell you what doesn't. It's not a phone booth. It's not a costume, as good as I look in this costume. No. What defines a superhero is that they sacrifice their own existence for the betterment of humanity and for the world. And who on the MythBusters crew qualifies as a superhero? It's Buster. For the last 13 and a half years, Buster has repeatedly sacrificed himself, thrown himself on the altar of science for your entertainment, but more importantly, for your knowledge. And in this episode, Buster is retiring, and he has chosen to go out in a manner that befits his status.
In this box right here is the new star of MythBusters.
It was 2003 when Buster first set foot in M5,
Oh, look at that.
where it was love at first sight,
I think we should call him Buster.
at least until his second day, when the abuse began.
Go.
In his second week, things got worse.
Poor guy.
And that set the scene for 14 long years.
How you feeling, buddy?
In the name of science, Buster's been repeatedly blown up, crashed,
That is a headache.
and hurled to the ground.
What?
Without doubt, Buster's been a true hero, taking one for the team time and time again. So what awaits him in his last ever experiment?
Oh, he's ready.
Well, to say he's shooting for the moon would be on the right track.
Yes, this rocket sled is Buster's chosen means of saying goodbye to the series, and it's going to get him up to over the speed of sound for 1,000 feet, to his final destination being the superhero that he is, somewhere on the other side of this wall.
That's right. With Buster welded into position, he's gonna go supersonic for science.
I think that's going to do it.
But not before he's dressed like the superhero that he is.
Buster, I'd like to say that it's been an honor and a pleasure working with you. I have gained much enjoyment and knowledge in our association, and I'm going to send you down with your favorite bottle of MythBusters champagne. You ready, buddy? Here it goes for old time's sake. That is so appropriate. Sorry, this one's real. Oh, man, that's it! Thank you, sir.
With Buster bruised for the penultimate time, Adam heads downwind to paint a suitable target.
I think that is fitting.
Before he explores some MythBusters memories,
Walking around up here on this plateau where the rocket sled is, a lot of memories, MythBuster memories are coming up. But also there's actually a lot of our equipment up here. This place is a graveyard to MythBusters memorabilia, not least of which is this beautiful thing I'm sitting on. This is the post with which we finally completed the bifurcated boat story. One of the best things we have ever done with that rocket sled until now.
Bifurcated Boat was absolutely a classic MythBusters moment, where Carrie, Tori, and Grant followed that age-old MythBusters mantra that if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing.
It's right down the middle.
But not every piece of NMT debris is from the show.
I don't exactly know what they were firing at this sheet of metal. Clearly many different types of ordnance, but what is most astonishing is that none of them make it through. So the only thing I can conclude is that the president's car is probably made out of this stuff.
Back to the experiment. And next, it's time for the rockets.
Rocket motors of this size and type put out 5,620 pounds of thrust, and we're going to have 10 of them on our rocket sled. That's what's going to propel Buster to speeds in excess of the speed of sound by the time it hits the barrier.
When the rockets are lit, a jet stream of gas will blast out the back. And because every action has an equal and opposite reaction, that blast will push the sled forward at almost 800 miles per hour. A speed so fast that this will be Buster's final curtain.
Buster, you're the stuntman of all of our dreams.
With the goodbyes said, The guys go down the tube for the countdown.
All right, guys, I'm going to give you a 10-second count. You ready, Mr. Heineman?
I'm ready.
Okay. This is Buster's last stand. 1,000-foot rocket sled ride to the end in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, whoa!
After a decade of destructive dedication,
Nice work, Buster! Nice work!
Buster has literally had a blast.
His ass is on fire!
And in this, his last ever episode, it's time to say goodbye.
Buster, you're the stuntman of all of our dreams.
In more ways than one, it's quite literally doom and gloom, as a surely an omen storm has suddenly let loose. But it's too late to back out now, because Buster's got a date with destiny.
This is Buster's last stand. 1,000-foot rocket sled ride to the end in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go! Whoa! Wow!
Boy, you could feel that.
You really could. Something broke the speed of sound while we were watching it. Look, there's a perfectly rocket sled-sized hole in the wall that he flew into.
Yeah, that didn't mess around.
Oh, no.
Peaking at 780 miles an hour, it's no surprise that their pristine target is now just a trouble of rubble.
Yep, that's a hole.
But as for Buster, he's gone. The MythBusters look high and low,
I think he's in the hill.
Yeah, he might be.
but find not a bit of his body anywhere.
I think Buster's been totally disintegrated.
And the high speed shows why. As Buster hits the wall faster than a speeding bullet, there's a mysterious flash of light before he simply vanishes. The 5 million joule impact, greater than he had ever experienced before, has literally caused him to disappear without a trace. So Buster, wherever you are, this heroic replay is for you. Back where it all began, Jamie is a man on a mission.
Perfect.
He's making a super reinforced truck wedge for the most destructive experiment in MythBusters history. And stage 1 is done.
Well, that was a good, hard day's work, but it's strong, I tell you. I think it's going to do the job. Here's hoping.
It's been a beast of a build. But back at Alameda, Adam's also been cooking with gas.
Perfect.
Because his ultimate crash course, featuring 200 MythBusters mementos, is ready to rock. And here's how this blast through the past is gonna go down.
Our new improved wedge will be driving through 2 rows of 10 cars. We painted numbers on the top, 10 through 1, so it's a countdown all the way to the end. And these 20 cars is just the beginning. Yeah! Once we've made it through all 20 cars, then it's time for a walk down memory lane, starting out with 2003. We've got barrel of bricks, microwave mist, escape from Alcatraz, ducks quack, won't echo, tree cannon, and exploding toilet.
Firing.
In 2004, we've got killer washing machine. We've got jet taxi. Jawbreaker, electrocution in a bathtub, and needle in a haystack.
That is one found needle.
2005, Salsa prison escape, bullets underwater, killer tissue box, shark wig, and the Christmas trees mean it's the MythBusters Holiday Special. 2006 means shredded airplane, Archimedes' death ray, great gas conspiracy, and Mentos and soda.
Don't tell Jamie.
2007 brings bifurcated boat, water heater explosion, shooting fish in a barrel, and a random car, because we had an extra one, and why not? 2008 means our Alaska special, Cabin Fever, featuring a Yeti. Also, moon landing conspiracy episode, Indiana Jones motorcycle flip, pianos, sobering up techniques, coffin punch, and golf ball through a tree.
Maybe you should take up tennis.
There's a lot of driving myths in 2009, featuring duct tape car, driving through a fruit stand, driving through a hurricane fence, bifurcated RV, popcorn house, and the cardboard boxes could only mean we were trying to hold on to the roof of a car. Yeah, I stayed on. 2010 brings the ultimate motorcycle tablecloth trick. The bifurcated car is our Green Hornet special, duct tape barrier, backwards Porsche, and bees lifting a laptop. I still hate bees.
Oh, man, I had some bad dreams like this.
2011 starts off with Lethal Weapon, moves on to fixing a flat with tree trunks and manhole covers, and finishes with dumpster diving. 2012 means square wheels, a balanced car with a chicken on the front, underwater bicycles, and cars filled with party balloons. Au revoir!
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think it might have worked, man.
And so it goes on. For 14 years, Adams picked the most iconic props from the most famous episodes to stand and deliver in the ultimate truck wedge test. But seeing memory lane laid out has had an unexpected effect.
Our original goal in creating this destructive drive through MythBusters Memory Lane was to engender a kind of catharsis for you, the audience, in saying goodbye to this show. The unexpected result is that it's created a catharsis for me. It demonstrates a tremendous amount of work and love and effort, and I have to say, taking a walk through it is pretty emotional, and it's kind of hard to say goodbye.
It's definitely the end of an era. But before anyone can get too afflicted, Jamie arrives with a turbocharged truck complete with a now or never nose cone.
Oh, look at this thing!
His last ever build.
Absolutely badass!
The wedge is made of 8 pieces of half-inch thick steel aligned into a cone. Behind it, tubular steel connects the wedge directly to the truck. Over the cab, 2 layers of bulletproof glass should ensure there'll be no driver decapitation. But she's not quite ready to roll yet.
Oh, right on. I think that's about right.
Without a doubt, the truck's dressed to kill.
That's better. Let's get this show on the road.
Its driver, not so much.
Yeah! Let's do this thing.
With Jamie watching on,
I just hope he doesn't get hurt. You know, it could happen.
Adam puts the pedal to the metal.
7th gear, coming up to 30.
But will the wedge have the strength to give the runway the send-off it so dearly deserves?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a destructive wedge through memory lane in 3, 2, 1.
When it comes to car carnage, Adam and Jamie are as good as it gets.
This is why we can't have nice things.
But it was Season 12's truck wedge that took their vehicular violence to a whole new level.
I think we just solved my traffic problem.
So now they're ramping that up with a supersized truck, a fearsome wedge, and the ultimate crash course. Stand by for some final physics. Momentum versus MythBusters history. To find out which will win, Adam's in the hot seat.
Oh, seriously? The horn doesn't work? All right, sound effects. Give me a horn. Yeah! Let's do this thing.
But before any wedge wipeout, Adam's first going to drive past the crash course.
There we go. 25.
To double check that the truck and wedge can cope
8th gear. This is my butter gear.
when being driven at speeds that are dangerously fast.
Getting into 45. That's about the speed I'll hit the cars. Boom, 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 boom.
And it's so far so good.
2003. Boom, boom. 2004. Boom, boom. 2005. Boom.
The truck and wedge
Boom, boom, boom.
are both stable and fast.
Heading to the end. Coming to a complete halt here, and
Which means that Adam can reset
that was a test run.
and get ready for this ultimate blast through the past, where the danger is quite literally going to be through the roof.
All right. It is just you and me now. It's you and me. The sun is setting. It's a beautiful afternoon in San Francisco. And I'm going to miss this part of the job. This show. This job. I'm going to miss it.
After an epic 14 years,
Here we go.
it's time for the runway's last run out.
There he goes.
Will Jamie's world-class wedge
7th gear. Coming up to 30.
combined with Adam's second-to-none drive skills
8th gear.
to make it all the way through their crazy crash course?
45 miles per hour. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a destructive wedge through memory lane. In 3, 2, 1. Yeah! Right through! Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Hey! 2005, boom! 6, boom! Oh, yeah! Boom! 7, boom! 8, boom! Oh, yeah! Holy crap! This is insane! Get off my truck, Porsche! I'm totally good. I can't see. I can't see. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yes! Woo! Yeah!
Now that's what I call a demolition derby.
So are you all right?
Yeah! Yeah, I'm all right.
Incredibly, Adam's unscathed, but the wedge, not so much.
Well, there's your problem.
Oh!
Look at what I have wrought.
It held. It took a beating, but it did its job.
The wedge may be battered, but that's nothing compared to the crash course, which has been completely torn apart. For more than a mile of runway, there's a level of destruction that is absolutely astonishing. And it's all thanks to momentum. Because the wedge pushed the props up and out, the truck never got slowed down, meaning that it could continue its demolition derby all the way to the end. But what was it like to drive?
That was far more intense than I expected it to be, as evidenced by the fact that It looks like about 20% of what I drove through stayed with me. So to recap, I hit about 45 miles an hour at the very moment I got to the first row of 20 cars. Yeah! Right through! And I started plowing through things. I went through cement wall, I went through fish tanks, I went through bathtubs, I went through popcorn houses. Oh, yeah! But about halfway through, some cardboard and plywood decided to stay on my windshield. Now, I did see a red car travel all the way up the front, and I noted that it went past my left side. That made me very happy for this big, heavy wall beam right there. And at a certain point, I realized I hadn't hit something in a while, and that's when the two MacGyver mail trucks aimed me towards the rocket car and allowed me to finish this with a perfect smack right into the butt end of that to complete this run. Oh, yes! That, ladies and gentlemen, is catharsis.
Catharsis and catastrophe. A double dose of epic destruction that's the perfect final physics farewell for this remarkable runway.
Well, I guess that's it then.
I think we got one more thing. Let's get out of here. Thanks for your hard work, car.
After a final season full of stunning statistics and 14 years full of spectacular science, just one question remains. What was the best ever story?
What is my favorite myth? I'm gonna have to go with the most astonishing thing I've ever gotten to do in the history of MythBusters, and that is put on a full pressurized spacesuit and fly to the edge of space in a U-2 plane. Hands down, best thing I've ever gotten to do.
Yep, U2's trip to the edge of space was a literal highlight, but it's not at the top of Jamie's list.
I don't really have any favorite myths. I have favorite things that I've done during this, like water skiing behind a rowboat or riding a motorcycle across a lake. And then there are things that we built, like the steam machine gun. Those are great.
Nice work, man.
Jamie's chosen a terrific trio of tall tales, but this survey doesn't stop there.
So, Jonathan, what's your favorite MythBusters myth?
My favorite myth is that actors are not real people.
Give me that. Amateur.
Did they ever prove or disprove that? Was that busted?
It's still up in the air.
That's good. My favorite MythBusters myth. I think mine has to be, this is an oldie but a goodie, JATO-powered Chevy Impala. I think that's what you guys led off with way back when in your first season, but...
what was it? What was it?
Jet-powered car, jet-powered Impala.
Jet-powered.
So JATO, Jet-Assisted Takeoff Unit, they strapped to an old 67 Impala.
Fishtail everywhere.
Yeah, it didn't go too well.
No.
But it blowed up good.
It blowed up good.
So, you know, they had that going for them.
Good job, guys.
Good job.
JATO and its two sequels are definitely contenders for best ever myth, as is the inevitable Big Boom.
Hey, MythBusters. You've blown up a lot of stuff over the years, but if I had to pick a favorite, I'd say it was all the times you blew my mind. No, wait, cement truck. Definitely the cement truck. I mean, that thing was just gone, just dust.
Even without the high speed, cement truck is a surefire fan favorite, but it's not everyone's number one.
Although there were a lot of great myths put to the test through the years, I have to say that for me, one absolutely floats to the top. Can you cook a Thanksgiving dinner on a car engine? The entire segment was thoughtful, intelligent, witty, and stylish, not to mention aromatic and tasteful. And of course, you proved that not only can it be done, it can be done to delicious perfection. Bravo.
With over 1,000 myths to choose from, working out what's been the best is so hard that some people just can't find an answer.
I've had so many amazing times with MythBusters and watching the show and really being a fan for so incredibly long, since the beginning. But I'd have to say that my favorite memory was the time when everyone discovered that Jamie was actually just a host for the sentient beret that lives on his body and forces it to do his bidding all the time. with his guidance system, the mustache.
Deep in the heart of the New Mexican desert, Adam and Jamie are ending their wild ride in the only way they can.
Boom.
This is it. This is the end. Way back in the early days of MythBusters, the explosion that put us on the map was the detonation of a cement truck with 850 pounds of explosives. So when it came time to figure out a way to wrap up this series, this was the only choice. I'm introducing you now to a soon-to-be former cement truck. This will be MythBusters' last ever explosion.
Yes, and it'll be our biggest.
Yep, for their last ever sequence,
There it is.
the guys are going to redo their most famous blast and take it to the max.
Now what's being prepared here, that's beautiful, is the largest explosion in MythBusters history. Its predecessor was when Cary Grant and Tori made diamonds with 5,000 pounds of explosives. In here, we're putting more.
Coming in.
Adam and Jamie are using their 14-year explosive experience to say goodbye with the most epic explosion they've ever done.
Inside this cement truck, 5,000 pounds of info. And we are putting more than that in here, Mr. Heineman.
1 pound.
1 pound. 5,001 pounds. The largest explosion in MythBusters history. And the last one.
Yep.
With the cement truck ready for the ultimate clear out, the guys are going big, then going home.
Before we commence with this final detonation, I have to admit it is an emotional day. We've been doing this job for 14 years now, and over that time, we have done just an endless number of the most ludicrous,
There we go.
hilarious,
Oh, yeah.
Don't I look like silent death?
bizarre, dangerous,
Am I missing an eyebrow?
Something just touched me.
wonderful things.
That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Ladies and gentlemen, 70,000 feet. This is not a bad way to spend your day.
But more than any of that, what has really fundamentally changed the way I think as a person is what I've learned on this show.
This is a lead balloon.
What I've encountered and the problems that I've had to solve.
Wow. I'm very pleased and terrified.
And it ends here, today. The greatest learning experience of our entire lives. See you guys on the other side.
This is it, the final experiment of Adam and Jamie's monumental myth-busting. Take it away, boys.
Okay, this is MythBusters' last ever explosion. 5,001 pounds of info versus a cement truck. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ha 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 ha!
I think it went off.
I'm pretty sure it did. That was magnificent.
After 14 years, 260 episodes, 1,100 myths, and over 3,000 experiments, that was worth waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a blast. Not to mention a pleasure.
Ah, now that's more like it. That's a crater.
Yes, it is. It's 5,001 pounds worth of crater. Well, I guess that's it then.
I guess it is. Well, what do we do now?
That's a good question.
Let's get out of here. So where do we begin? What do we got?
Just a perfect day. Drink sangria in the park. And then later, when it gets dark, we go home. Just a perfect day. Feed animals in the zoo. Then later, a movie too, and then home.